Isaias Afwerki is an Eritrean politician who has been the first and current president of Eritrea since the country's independence in 1993. He led the Eritrean People's Liberation Front to victory in May 1991, ending the 30-year-old war for independence. Isaias is the leader of Eritrea's sole legal political party, the People's Front for Democracy and Justice. He has faced accusations of totalitarianism, and he has been cited for human rights violations by the United Nations and Amnesty International. Reporters Without Borders ranked Eritrea, under the government of Afwerki, third last out of 180 countries in its Press Freedom Index in 2020, ahead of Turkmenistan and North Korea. Isaias Afwerki was born in the Aber Shial district of Asmara, Eritrea. Isaias attended Prince Makonnen High School. In the early 1960s, he joined the nationalist Eritrean student movement. In 1965, he began his studies at the College of Engineering at Haile Selassie University in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Isaias is a cousin of the former Ethiopian Prime Minister Meles Zenawi. Isaias met his wife, Sabah Haile, in a village called Nakfair in the summer of 1981. They have 3 children, Abraham, Elsa and Barhane. Shortly before Eritrea declared independence, Isaias contracted cerebral malaria and was flown to Israel for treatment. Arriving in a coma, he was treated at Sheba Medical Center, where his life was saved. In September 1966, Isaias left the university where he was studying and traveled to Kassala, Sudan, via Asmara to join the Eritrean Liberation Front. In 1967, the Chinese government donated light weapons and a small amount of cash to cover the cost of transportation and provided training to ELF combatants. Isaias was among the first group that went to China in 1967. There, he received intensive military training. Upon his return, he was appointed as a political commissioner of the ELF's Zone 5 in the Hamasien region. Isaias played a key role in the grassroots movement which rapidly gathered momentum and brought about the demise of the zonal divisions of the Liberation Army. Further, he played a vital role in the tripartite union, which challenged the ELF's leadership, the Supreme Council and the Revolutionary Command. Soon after the commencement of sectarian violence in the early 1970s against members of the Reform movement, those who were in the Central Highlands, including Isaias, withdrew to an isolated locality, Ayler in northeastern Ekale Guzi near Dekhamahare. Here, they joined Abraham Tevold, the former commander of the defunct Zone 5. Isaias became the leader after Abraham Tevold died from natural causes. In August 1971, a group of younger ELF members held a meeting at Tikli, in which they explained in detail the rationales for their decision to create a separate political organization instead of working within the ELF. In 1977, EPLF held its first Congress, at which Isaias was elected Vice Secretary General. During the Second Congress of the EPLF in 1987, he was elevated to the status of Secretary General of the organization and in May 1991 became Secretary General of the Provisional Government of Eritrea. In April 1993, after the national referendum, he was elected as the President of the State of Eritrea by the National Assembly. In February 1994, the EPLF held its third Congress, and Isaias was elected Secretary General of the People's Front for Democracy and Justice by an overwhelming majority of votes. In April 1993, a United Nations supervised referendum on independence was held, and the following month Eritrea achieved de jure independence. Isaias was declared the first head of state, a position he has held ever since the end of the war for independence. During the first few years of Isaias' administration, the institutions of governance were structured and put in place. This included the provision of an elected local judicial system, as well as an expansion of the educational system into as many regions as possible. The EPLF renamed itself the People's Front for Democracy and Justice in February 1994 as part of its transition to a political party. He was hailed as a new type of African president. Then US President Bill Clinton referred to him as a Renaissance African leader. In this sense, he strongly advocates the necessity for the development of indigenous political and economic institutions, while maintaining that Eritrea must pursue a development strategy which suits its internal conditions and available resources. The key element of such a policy includes ambitious infrastructure development campaigns both in terms of power, transport and telecommunications, as well as with basic healthcare and educational facilities. ISAIs oversaw an unexpected transformation of Eritrea's relations with Ethiopia in 2018. In June 2018, Ethiopia's newly elected Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed negotiated an end to the border war between the countries, including reciprocal visits by Isaias and Abiy in July 2018. Diplomatic and